You are the threshold of success. It is my prayer that God will grant you to enable me to know what you have come here for and to pursue it vigorously. Knowledge does not crop into somebody by accident. You've got to be intentional about it. You've got to work hard to achieve it. You've got to strive to get it. Whether national diploma, higher national diploma, none of them could be acquired by accident. If they could be acquired by accident, you wouldn't have needed to come to Yabatech. So I want to charge you this morning that your goal, in those days when we read practical English, there was, I think, practical English book 3. They say Olu goes to school. And when Olu dropped from the bus that conveyed him to where he was going, as he picked his box, put it on his head, and he was telling himself, I must succeed. I will succeed. I should succeed. He was telling himself that he must succeed. As you are entering into Yabatech College of Technology, your goal should be that you shall succeed, you must succeed, you should succeed. But they say that Waneshon Yinka that said that the pot that must eat stew, the bottom must be scorched. He said that in Tongi harvest. I will repeat again, the pot that must eat stew, the bottom must be scorched. So if you're going to succeed, everything depends on you. Okay? And then I want to charge you again. Remember the son, the daughter of whom you have. Every one of you is the ambassador of your home. Are you aware of that? Are you aware you are the ambassador of your home? Okay? So the way you want your parents to see you, should they visit Yabatech unannounced? Should they just stumble on you in Yabatech? How will you want your parents to see you? What reports will your parents hear of you when they visit Yabatech College of Technology? So these are the things that should engage your mind and should inform every step you take. Make your textbooks your friends. Make your textbooks. Ensure you jot when the lecturers are teaching. Even though we've descended to the level that we dictate notes to you, it is not by right. It's a privilege. And we have been campaigning that polytechnic students should be equal with students in the universities. In the university, nobody gives notes. Nobody dictates notes. Listen attentively in class. Don't be a companion of those who will not attend classes. So I pray that God will help you. I pray God helps you. Grant you success at the end of your program. That is my charge to you. God bless you.
Leaving the moment, tomorrow the knows God.
Thank you very much, my father, Dr. Charles. We really appreciate your fatherly advice. If you know Maximum Department, you will know that Dr. Charles is our father, and we love him so much. A round of applause for him, please. At this point, we'd like to recognize the presence of Mrs. Olario. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being here today. We appreciate your presence. The Dean of the Department, Dr. Ike Wellington, to be giving his speech now, but it's not around, so it's going to be represented by Dr. Olatunji Sule.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Charles Obi, Sudan representative, our guest from Uganda, and everybody on the high table. Please, I need your attention. Can you get seated? Get seated. Now, I want to talk about communication. Communication. Before I get started, I want to pick just one thing from one Dr. Charles Obi, our distinguished lecturer, just said. He said, when you are in class, you must judge. Make the textbook your friend. Not only when you are in class, when you are reading your textbook, judge whatever appeals to you from that textbook. That particular thing will probably remind you of the text, the page, the topic you must have read. Communication is the act of giving, receiving, and sharing information. Sharing information, talking, writing, listening, and reading. That was what he said. Reading and listening. You cannot in any way be a good communicator without developing the skill and the ability to listen first. In a conversation, in a discussion, to be able to contribute meaningfully to what you are listening to, what you are to contribute to, you must listen first. To listen to what? Listen to the subject matter of what is being discussed, so that you do not go astray from the subject matter by contributing as somebody that is not even present at the beginning or during the conversation. So talking, discussing, writing, all is communication. But importantly, I want to mention communication skills you need to develop. Please pick one or two things from what we are telling you now. It will make a lot of good for you. One, written communication. That is one of the skills that you have to develop. That is the ideas and information through the use of writing or written language rather. Written language. Now, there is nothing you are going to do in mass comm that will not involve you to write, except if you go and write CBT, which are for service courses, languages and social sciences. But the rest of the courses you are going to do will involve you to express yourself. To express yourself meaningfully, to be able to obtain marks from whoever is going to go through your script after the exam. So you must develop a skill by knowing what you are to be concise and precise. No one in the course of your lectures or exam will say you should not elaborate on whatever he has asked for. But the key thing that the lecturer is looking for must be in what you have written. So that once he can see it, he may not go through the rest of your story. You have endelved yourself into his heart. You have mentioned the specific thing. So to be able to communicate the written skill, you have to develop those abilities to carry yourself to know the exact subject matter and what it entails, so that you know exactly what to put down. The second one, oral communication, which conveys ideas and information. Things that we use, especially in spoken language. When you are communicating, there is no way you will read mass communication that will not go out there and will be tested to the extreme limit, because it will be assumed that you have been baked and over-filter several times to be able to communicate, especially not only written, but in oral communication. In doing that, you must be able to show that you can convey messages meaningfully to pass messages to other people by speaking a particular language. Of course, the one you are likely going to be tested in the English language. So don't go about neglecting majority of the things you be taught from those departments that will service you about language. Communication skill, the ability to move information from yourself to others, and the ability to be able to contribute meaningfully to discussions that you find yourself involved in. So those courses will be the ones that will approximately make you to be able to do a particular thing that you make meaningfully. Then non-verbal or visual communication. This non-verbal will be taught in the department to develop your skill, to be able to pass information, messages, non-verbally. I guess our executive lecturer there, Mr. Goki, will do that, and he has been doing that very well. To be able to pass information, if you are the artwork, the research artwork that was done, so many things were presented there. They are passing information, messages, communicating. So you will learn how to draw, to make visual arts, to be able to communicate about a community, a person, group of persons, about the society in which you find yourself. Everything is not just written or oral. You can read it visually. So visual communication, that art, you will be taught. You must be able to even understand other people's messages that are non-verbal. And of course, when you are in communication, you are discussing with some other people. I will talk about that later. When you are discussing with some other people, you must be attentive. One, you must listen to that person. You must focus your attention on the face of the person to let him know you are listening to him so that he can continue speaking. Your action or reaction as at that time you are communicating or you are conversing or you are fundamentally whether that messages will be taken or not. If you are passing a message and you are not very serious about it, and you are not focusing, the person that you are passing it to will lose interest. That is why usually sometimes move around the class or ask questions to get your attention to maybe to focus. Focusing there will let you know exactly what the subject matter is and what to react to. What you are going to respond to, what are the questions you are going to ask? You must ask questions in the class when the lecturer is in the class. Being able to ask questions simply means you must have been listening attentively, jotting down, like Dr. Oni said, jotting down key things that person must have said to be able to now raise question on what he has said. Don't think that you remember. No. Get a paper, jot down the key things, and pass the message across. Then, of course, active listening. There are different ways of listening. The one that will concern you here is the one that you need in the class. You cannot just sit down passively and be looking at the lecturer. No, you are not an active listener. You must listen to the extent that your pencil or your Bible, your pen or whatever is busy. If you listen, there is no way you will not pick one thing or the other from what the person is saying. Even if you don't understand the thing you are writing down, then it gives you the opportunity when the question time comes to raise up your hand and ask questions. So active listening is a skill in communication. You must be able to listen and be active. To be active there is what we are saying. It's not to disturb the lecturer. You must not interfere with what he's saying. Give him time. Then you jot down the key things you want to ask him. So that once he finishes, he now asks any question, and if he doesn't have, before he leaves, you raise up your hand, he asks, what is it? You ask your question. If you are not an active listener, you will not be able to know to ask. You will just sit down passively and be looking at the lecturer. You will do the whole thing, leave the class and go. Yet, 0-0. You are as good as the person that didn't come to class that day. Then, of course, contextual communication. All these gathered together are the skills you need to develop. How to pass message of communication or information through written notes. But conversation, your participation in class and everything is equally important. Importance of this communication is that good communication skills are essential to allow others and yourself to understand information more accurately. If you give a good information to somebody, you understand it quickly. But when it becomes conversation, like we do in the classroom, lecturer is not just to talk and leave. You have to participate. Participate by asking questions. Participate by even adding, telling the lecturer, what about so? Is it part of this topic? We say yes. And if it is not, we know that you are actually listening and understanding what is telling you. So what makes a good communication? A good communicator, rather. The best communicators are the ones that are aware of their own contributions to the conversation and know how best to help the flow of dialogue. Now, once you are among your mates outside the class and you are discussing about the topics or whatever that has been done in class, you must, as we have said, listen. Pass your message concise and brief. Not too long for that person, it might become boring for that person. Pass it short and straightforward, and know that this is not only good for you, but for every other member in that group that you are conversing with. So conversation there will not be limited to what a person is doing, but every other person. So you must listen, you must pass your message and pass it meaningfully. Now, there are different means through which communication can be passed from one person to the other. The common one is our phones that all of us are carrying now. Whether your phone is a smartphone or a dull phone, whichever kind of phone you use, you can pass a message from yourself or from a group of persons to another group of persons. So your phone, your computer, the television, newspaper, satellite communication, particularly face-to-face, as was mentioned, that is the one I said, outside the class, face-to-face among your mates. Look at the person's side, get his attention, pass the message. Once you notice the person is not focusing, you know that he may not be receiving what you are saying. It's either what you are saying is out of context, or the person doesn't have the time for that. Then you change your method or whichever way you can do it to know. Then email, you can pass messages to people. Most of this and many more of this will be taught in the department, especially for those of you who are one that are here. Those of you in HND as well, in HND1, you also pass through this means of communication, the medium of communication, through which you can pass communication. But the focus, particularly, before I conclude, is that to be a good communicator, you must develop communication skills. And without it, sitting down in the classroom, listening to a lecture will be nothing without you jotting down. First, you must listen carefully. From the listening, you develop the ability to be able to jot down what makes much more meaningful something to you. And the one that does not make meaning to you, you must jot them down so that you can ask further questions after the lecture. Again, outside the class, you'll be writing tests, writing exams, even in the classroom. You must develop the ability to be concise and precise. Don't just be beating around the bush, paraphrasing. Hit it first, and then you can now build on it and the next paragraph explain it. It is not by writing 5 pages, 4 pages of exam paper that you pass. Be precise and concise and hit the thing on the head, and let the explanation now portray whatever you must have put. I wish you all the best. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, sir. Please jam your hands together for Mr. Olatunji. Ladies and gentlemen, jam your hands together for Mr. Olatunji. Well, I don't know about you, but if I didn't get anything from all that he has just said, I got to be a good communicator. You must have a good communication skill. You must listen in class. You must ask questions, and you must also do your research. Please, if you enjoyed that, I want you to jam your hands once again as mass communicator.